Okay, so now we're going to talk about hand placement for push-ups. So this is more of the push-up specific stuff. So for hand placement, you just get into your plank position and your fingers should be just underneath your eyes, okay? So if you were to see me from the bottom, it would look something like this. That way when I go down, my hands are gonna track closer underneath my shoulder where they should, okay? And then we do want our hands in close. It makes it more shoulder friendly. If at first this position is more difficult for you, then you have to get your triceps stronger. Most people's pecs are stronger than their triceps, but in the long run, as you do this, A, it's gonna be safer for your shoulder, but B, it's gonna be a much stronger position. And then when we get into the one arm push-up, it's completely necessary to do this, okay? So hands are gonna be about here, and then I'm in my plank position, okay? Now, the effort is always gonna be led with your breath. So as I pull down into my push-up position, notice I said pull there. That's important, we'll talk about that in a second. I'm inhaling through my nose, okay? Feet are always shoulder width. And I'm using that power breath on the way up, right? It's not specifically a power breath for the tissus though, but the exhale is happening through the teeth, and that is the air compressor component to it, right? So if you blow a lot of pressure through a very small hole, you get lots of pressure, and that's what we're looking for with the push-up, okay? One thing is really important is a lat linkage. So as far as the lat linkage goes, a drill that we can do to learn to link the lats is set cross-legged, take your hands either on palms or fingers, and then try to push your head and butt up off the floor. So get your head up as high as you can and lift the butt up. What this is a anti-shrug position, right? So my scaps are up here, and then when I push down, they go down. This is really important for the push-up because if the shoulder blade is tucked in tighter to the body, it is safer for the shoulders, okay? So applying what we just learned there to here, I will shrug my shoulders down from the side. It'll look like this. Notice when I go down, I'm just touching my nose to the floor. That's completely acceptable for a hard style push-up or a one-arm push-up like we'll be doing, okay? And then we have the active negative. So we'll talk now about rowing ourselves down. By the way, these are just techniques that you'll use to practice as you're doing your push-ups in your training, right? And these are the steps that I've taken and other people have taken to get to the one-arm push-up and one-arm, one-leg push-up. So the active negative is rowing yourself down, right? So you imagine if I had a kettlebell and I was doing a rowing exercise, the pulling towards my body, that row sensation, is one that we can have during our push-up, and it makes it a lot stronger. It engages the opposite muscle group to pull us down, and then it really intensifies the contraction in the bottom. It feels way stronger. Okay, so we have the active negative, and then the last technique that we can use to strengthen the push-up. So all these techniques, by the way, are progressions for people, right? So let's say you start with just the plank, right? And then you work on doing the plank from a up position. So rather than the yang plank on the forearm, you go up. Then you just practice the lat linkage, right? Then you can practice the negatives, and then we have the static in the bottom. So let's say you can't quite push up yet. We can work on going down and just holding. And then we can relax, do our cobra, and then come up, okay? Really important in all variations of this that you do, every time that your hands are on the ground or anywhere else, you are corkscrewing the shoulders, okay? So for instance, if I had a stick, I want to try and break it in half, right? So you'll see my elbow position will change here. So I'm here and I go to break it in half. This right here is called the corkscrew, and it packs the shoulder in, okay? So let's say that you're not quite strong enough to do any of these variations on the floor. You can simply go to a ledge of any kind and practice all the above. So I can go here and practice my active negatives, and then step forward and relax, or my statics, and then hold in the bottom. And then you can also practice your push-ups from an elevated position. With every iteration, for strength, you always want to choose 5 or less repetitions, okay? 5 or less repetitions with plenty of rest in between.